up, everyone? It is your girl Merline O here. Thank you so much for tuning into my YouTube channel. So today is the day where I wanted to share with you all my story about being disabled, how I dealt with bullying and depression, and the woman that I am today. So there's going to be two parts to this video. The first part is basically going to be talking about my childhood years, and then the second part will touch on high school, college, and the woman that I am today. So I know in the first video I expressed to you all that I was diagnosed with cerebral palsy at the age of 7 months old. I wanted to provide you with the type of cerebral palsy that I was diagnosed with, and the type of cerebral palsy that I was diagnosed with is called hemiplegia. And so basically hemiplegia affects one whole side of the body. It could be either the right or the left. For me, it affected the left side of my body. So some people think that I am paralyzed on that side and I can't feel anything. That's not the case. I do feel when people touch me. I do have some type of weakness, and when people touch me, I mean, it's very faint. So I do have lack of control sometimes with my hand, and I walk with a limp. I wanted to share my story because I just wanted this to be my testimony and my truth. And I wanted to help others who may feel discouraged regarding their disability, and who may think that they can't do anything because they're disabled. And I wanted to share my story to help other people, and to empower other people and to encourage other people. I wanted them to know that they can turn their pain into power. When I was younger, I didn't know that I was disabled. I didn't get any special treatment when I was home. My mom didn't treat me any different. My siblings didn't treat me any different. My aunt and uncle didn't treat me any different. So it wasn't until I got into kindergarten where I noticed that I was not like the other children. And I remember it was the first day of school in kindergarten, and it was time for recess, and my teacher was like, she pulled me to the side and she was like, Merline, you're going to be my little helper. And I was like, okay, no problem. Didn't question the teacher, was okay with it. And so she had me color some things, and we sat on the sidewalk while the other children played. So didn't think nothing of it. Recess ended, went back home. The next day she did the same thing. And soon it became a pattern. So every time at recess, I didn't get that chance to really socialize with my peers, with the other kids. And every time at recess, I would stop, especially when we sat outside, because sometimes we would go inside and she would let me do things inside, and then we would sit outside sometimes and we would just watch the children play. Once again, I never questioned her because she was the teacher. So I just sat there, and from time to time when we did sit outside, I would fantasize about playing on this one particular object, and it was called the Jungle Dome. And I remember, from time to time I would look up and just be like, man, I can't wait. I want to get to the top of that Jungle Dome. And so one day my teacher didn't come to school, so we had a substitute teacher. So it was my time to shine, I felt like. She didn't know about my disability, nor did she stop me during recess time. So I felt like it was time for me to go on that jungle gym and get to the top. So when it was recess time and we went, and the first object that I went to was that Jungle Dome. And so I remember placing my right hand on the rail and placing my right foot on the rail below it. I'm trying to get myself steady to start climbing. And I put my left foot on the other side of the rail, like on the side of the rail where my right foot was at, and it slipped and I fell back. And I didn't cry or anything. I remember just dusting myself off and trying it again. Well, soon as you know it, recess was over. I had spent my whole entire recess trying to get to the top of the jungle dome. So it kept bothering me. And I figured that, okay, well, my teacher's going to be back tomorrow, so I will never conquer getting on top of that jungle dome. So luckily, the next day, my teacher didn't show up, so we had the same substitute teacher. I had a chance to redeem myself again. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna tackle this jungle gym, not jungle gym, but jungle dome, and I'm gonna get to the top. Okay, so again, I tried again, and the same thing happened. And I eventually gave up and I started playing with something else. But looking back, even when I was 5 years old, I never gave up. I never gave up until I just realized, you know what? I'm not like the other kids. I can't climb to the top. And there were other kids who would come and play while I was trying to get to the top, and they would get to the top and I couldn't get to the top. And so that just did something to me, and I realized that I wasn't like the other kids, and that's when I realized that I was disabled. And you would think also that I would socialize with the other kids, but because I was always with my teacher, I never had that experience of socializing with other kids. And in a way, I think that she kind of hindered me from just being a kid. But then again, I don't know where her mindset was at. And I think she was just trying to protect me during recess. She probably didn't want me to get hurt. So that's why she did what she felt was best for me at that time. When I was younger, I had to adjust to a lot of things with my disability. I wore a brace on both my hand and my foot. I had one surgery done as a child where they went in and they tried to correct my left hand to make it straight. Tying my shoes was a difficult task for me. Something that took people a day or two to learn took me more. And I can remember getting so upset and so frustrated to the point that I was in tears because I couldn't learn to tie my shoe. But eventually I did. I learned how to tie my shoe with one hand. I learned how to put the back of my earring in my earlobe with one hand. I learned how to put on a necklace with one hand. And as a child, for me, at that time, I was very, very adamant about doing things on my own. I didn't want people to feel sorry for me. I didn't want people to just think that I couldn't do anything. So I was very, very focused and very, very adamant about doing things on my own. Even though I shed tears, even though I got frustrated, I still got it. I still learned how to do it. And even to this day, sometimes it's kind of difficult for me to do certain things, but I remind myself that I can do it. I lost my mother and my father at a young age, and I was so angry with God. I was so angry with God because I felt like I didn't have a support system. I felt like there was no one there that truly loved me. And so after my mother passed away, I questioned God. I questioned God a lot. And I questioned him every single day. Like, God, you couldn't leave me with my mom. You couldn't just leave me with one parent. Like, you had to take both of them away. And so now I'm dealing with that, and I'm dealing with bullying issues, and then I'm also dealing with me being disabled. And I didn't know as a child my purpose. I didn't know the purpose of why God took my parents away from me at a younger age. And so I remember just being so angry, y'all, at God, being so angry. And I just I got depressed after my mom's death, and I lashed out, and I was very flicker, which means I had a smart mouth. I would talk back. I didn't care. I was just lashing out because I missed my mom. I wanted my mom. I would cry out for my mom almost every day. My mom was like a God-fearing woman, and I didn't know why 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 God took her away from me. Like, I didn't know why. Like, and like I thank God for my aunt and my uncle for taking care of me, but there's nothing like your mom. Like, your mom is your mom, and like, nobody loves you like your mom. And I wanted her love, and she wasn't there to give it to me. And so I'm grateful and thankful that my aunt and my uncle, they raised me. And um, at that time, though, after my mom passed away, I became this very angry child, and I became so depressed. I went to physical therapy, I would say probably once or twice a week. And my physical therapist, she went over and beyond for me. And she was the only person that I felt like I could talk to in regards of my feelings. And she listened to me. And she would take me to certain places. She took me ice skating. She really took me underneath her wing. And I was grateful for her because Miss Jennifer came to my mom's funeral, and a couple weeks later, after my mom passed away, she had gotten a job opportunity, and she had to go out of state. And y'all, I boo-hoo cried because I got mad at God all over again. All over again, I got mad at God because now, I really don't have anyone now. I really don't have anyone to talk to now. And so depression started all over again. And I got upset all over again. And so around that time when she was leaving, we were moving to another school. Okay, I got bullied at my old school. Maybe, this school would be cool, you know what I'm saying? I would make new friends. Everything is going to be just fine. Everything is just going to be just fine. Okay? Got to the school, same thing happened. I got bullied. And so I quickly learned to not trust people. I quickly learned to just fall back and be observant at a young age. And this would probably, I would say, probably around like 7, 8 years old. I quickly learned, okay, I'm a very, very observant person. I would get bullied almost every day because of me wearing my braids or the way that I walk. And so there was this one boy who would always stick up for me. And I greatly appreciated him because I felt like he took the time out to just say, you know what, stop. Don't bully her. That's not cool. I was dealing with a lot, and I was an angry child. I was a quiet child, but I was an angry child. And so in middle school, like I said, the bullying got worse. And I remember there was this Caucasian guy who would, after PE class, always push me down for no reason. He would literally, like, after we got out of PE, he would like either bump into me or he would push me down. So finally, I was just like, yo, I'm not gonna take this anymore. Like, why is he pushing me? So one day he pushed me and I turned around and I pushed him back. And then I turned around and he pushed me again, and I fell so hard. I fell on the ground and I fractured my index finger. And it hurt so bad, but I would not cry for anything. I would not let him see that he got to me. And so I don't condone violence. And I just don't condone violence, but sometimes you get so tired of being bullied, and even you did everything right. You told the teacher, you talked to someone, you told your friends, and you still get bullied. So the next thing for you to do is just defend yourself. I felt that I handled that situation at that time the best way that I can, and that was just basically by pushing him back. And like I said, I don't condone violence. There was another time where I was coming out of the cafeteria, and there was a group of boys. All I heard was, dang. He was like, dang, Merline, you ugly, man. You so ugly, man. He was like, man, I effed her so hard. That's why she walking like that. Basically trying to show off for his homeboys. And then he was like, I don't understand how God made you live. What did he say? I don't even understand why God made you live. You should have been dead. You should have been dead. You ugly. You're so ugly. And of course he was using profanity. And then he said, and of course I tried to defend myself the best way that I can by just yelling back with him and not really trying not to let him get to me, but obviously he got to me. And then he said this one particular thing that really stuck with me, and it stuck with me for a long time, y'all. And he was like, no one will ever love you. No one will ever love you. You think someone would love you looking like that? You think someone will really love you looking like that? That's what he said. And I was just like so hurt. So hurt. And so I got super depressed. And I remember crying all day. I couldn't focus in class because those words haunted me. Those words haunted me for a long time. And I believed him. And I just was just like, he's right. How can someone love me looking like this? How can someone love me with my disability? And so I contemplated suicide because of those words that he told me. Because I felt like he was right. no one would ever love me the way that I wanted to be loved. And I felt like the only person that I wanted to love me was gone. To truly, truly love me was gone. And so I started, even though I was mad at God, I started to pray to God. For those of you who are being bullied, I encourage you to talk to someone in regards of the bullying. Whoever you feel that you are most comfortable with, tell them, okay? Tell your best friend, someone that can help you out and just help you in that situation so you don't feel alone. Because I felt so alone during those times because no one knew what I was dealing with. No one knew. I never told anyone. I kept everything bottled inside. And just tell someone. Tell someone how you feel. Be honest with your feelings, because there's people out there that care for you, that love you, that don't want people to hurt you. And even though you think that you're walking in this alone, you don't have to. You don't. You don't have to be alone. There's people out there that will support you and be there for you. There's people out there that love you, so tell someone. I encourage you to tell someone if you're being bullied. I found someone that I was comfortable enough to talk about my feelings. At that particular time, that person was my physical therapist. That was the person who I confided in. That was the person who I told all of my feelings to, and she was that person for me at that time, at that period of time, until she had to leave. So I had that little bit of support, but it was up until she left that then I felt all alone. And bullying can lead to depression. So with that, because you feed into what the bullier is saying to you, you think that bullier is right. Like, I will never be anyone. I will never succeed in life. I would never, you just feed into whatever he or she is saying to you. And it's not true. They're dealing with some issues in their personal life, and they're taking it out on you. And for the kids who see someone getting bullied, I challenge you to advocate for those who are getting bullied. Okay? And so with depression, I encourage, if you are depressed, I encourage you to join an organization, to do things that you like to do in order to get you out of that depressive mode. For me, I joined, and you will hear this in part 2 of the story. I joined an organization that really, really helped me to get out of that depression state. And I found friends who I can confide in and talk about my feelings. My best friend, actually, I love her because she challenged me by basically questioning me and making me feel uncomfortable, but also helping me to grow in certain ways that I did not think that I would grow in. I also do this, and this is just on a personal note. I write down affirmations. So, for example, in my bedroom, I have Post-it notes on the wall, And I have posted notes basically saying, to be humble, to be kind, that I'm intelligent, that I need to get fit, that, to be positive. I have scriptures on my post-its, daily scriptures that I read. I also have quotes from Black women who I look up to. Oprah is one. Maya Angelou, Angela Davis, Gabrielle Union, and many others, people that I look up to. And I just I just want to be surrounded. I just want you all to be surrounded by positive energy, and those affirmations help me on a daily. Whenever I'm feeling depressed, I just read my affirmations out loud, and that just brings up my self-esteem and my self-confidence. I also pray, and read my Bible. I also do that as well. God is such an amazing God, and He has helped me through difficult situations. And I make sure that I give Him that one-on-one time for me to learn about His Word, and for me to just become a better Christian. So, with that being said, thank you so much for tuning in to part one of my story. It is a lengthy one, but I wanted to just tell you a little bit about me and who I am, and make sure you stay tuned for part two. It will be up in a couple of days. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.